Making money early feels like a shortcut, like you skipped the struggle, like you figured something out before everyone else. And at first, it really feels that way. You see money come in. You see results. You see progress. And naturally, you believe you're ahead. But hey, race, what people don't realize. Being early doesn't mean you're right. Sometimes, it just means you got lucky sooner. And that's where everything starts to go wrong. Because when money comes early, it doesn't just change your situation. It changes how you think. Now imagine this clearly. You're sitting on your bed late at night. Lights off. Phone in your hand. You open your bank app. You weren't expecting much. But then you see it. Money. More than you've ever had before. Not millions, but enough to feel different. You stare at it for a few seconds. Then you refresh. Just to be sure it's real. It is. And in that moment, something shifts in your mind. This is working. You don't say it out loud, but you feel it. That quiet confidence. That sense that you figured something out early. Now the next day feels different. You wake up with a little more energy. You move differently. You're not just trying anymore. You're getting results. And that changes your behavior. You start spending a little more freely. Not recklessly, but without thinking too deeply. Because in your mind, more is coming anyway. You stop tracking small expenses. You stop questioning decisions. You stop analyzing what actually worked. Because why would you? The result is already there. And this is the first trap. Because early money creates confidence before it creates understanding. And confidence without understanding leads to blind spots. Now let's go deeper into this. A few weeks pass. More money comes in. Not consistently, but enough to keep you convinced. You check your account more often now. Morning, afternoon, night. Each time, you're hoping to see growth. And when you do, it reinforces the same belief. I'm on the right path. But hey, race, the real problem. You haven't actually asked yourself, why is this working? Is it skill? Is it timing? Is it luck? Or is it something that won't last? You don't know, because you never stop to find out. And this is where everything starts to separate. Now imagine another version of you. Same age, same desire. But this time, nothing works at first. You try something. It fails. You try again. Still nothing. You feel it now. That pressure, that quiet frustration. You're watching other people succeed. You're seeing results everywhere, except in your own life. And it starts to get to you. You're lying in bed one night, staring at the ceiling. Your phone is beside you. You don't even want to check it, because you already know what you'll see. Nothing. And a thought hits you. Am I just not good enough? That moment is heavy, but it does something powerful. It forces you to think. You start asking, what am I doing wrong? What am I missing? What actually works? You begin to observe, to study, to learn, because you have no results to hide behind. Now compare both paths. Person A gets results early, feels confident, stops questioning. Person B struggles early, feels pressure, starts learning deeply. At the beginning, person A looks like they're winning. But over time, everything flips. And this is where everything changes. Because success is not about how fast you make money. It's about how well you understand it. Person A builds confidence without foundation. Person B builds foundation before confidence. And that difference decides everything later. But hey, race, what people don't realize. Early money can actually slow you down because it removes urgency. It removes the need to improve. It hides your weaknesses, and weaknesses that are hidden don't disappear. They grow quietly until one day they become obvious. And by then, you've built your entire system on something unstable. Now imagine this. Months later, your income drops. Not completely, but noticeably. You check your account again. This time, it doesn't feel the same. There's no excitement, just confusion. Why is this slowing down? You try to fix it, but now, you don't know how, because you never understood what made it work in the first place. And this is the second trap. When early success disappears, you don't just lose money, you lose direction. And that's harder to recover from, because now, you're not just starting again, you're starting confused. And this is where most people get stuck. The biggest mistake people make when they start making money early is not what they spend, it's what they believe. Because the moment money starts coming in, your mind changes. Quietly, you stop seeing yourself as someone trying and start seeing yourself as someone who has figured it out. And that belief is where everything starts to go wrong. But hey, race, what people don't realize. Money is not proof that you understand something. Sometimes, it's just proof that something worked once. And that's a dangerous difference. Now imagine this clearly. You're sitting at your desk, laptop open, phone beside you. You've just made money again. Not luck anymore. Not random. At least, that's what you tell yourself. You lean back slightly, take a breath, and that quiet thought comes in again. I'm getting good at this. Now your decisions start changing. Before, you used to hesitate. You used to question everything. You would sit there and think, what if this fails? What am I missing? Is this really worth it? But now, you don't slow down like that anymore. Because confidence has replaced caution. You click faster, decide faster, move faster. And this is where everything changes. Because speed without understanding creates mistakes you can't see. Now let's go deeper into a real moment. You're about to make another move. It could be putting money into something, scaling what you did before, trying something similar again. You pause for a second. There's a small voice in your head. Are you sure about this? But you ignore it because your last result is still fresh. It worked before. It'll work again. You proceed. No deep analysis. No real breakdown. Just confidence. And this is the first real mistake. Not the action, but the assumption behind it. Now time passes. A few days. A few weeks. At first, everything still feels fine. But slowly, things start changing. Not dramatically. Subtly. Results are slower. Returns are inconsistent. And you feel it. Not clearly, but enough to notice. Now imagine this moment. You're sitting alone. Your phone is in your hand again. You open your bank app. This time, you're not excited. You're checking. Carefully. Looking for something. Confirmation. But it's not there. The numbers haven't grown the way you expected. You scroll. Transactions everywhere. Money going out. Money coming in. But no structure. No clear direction. And this is where it hits. You made money, but you didn't build anything. And that realization feels different. Because now, you can't rely on it. You can't predict it. You can't control it. And that creates pressure. Now let's push this further. You try to repeat what worked before. Same strategy. Same steps. Same energy. But this time, it doesn't respond the same way. And that's confusing. Because in your mind, it should work. But it doesn't. Now the doubt starts creeping in. You sit there, staring at your screen. Refreshing. Waiting. Hoping. Nothing. And this is where everything shifts. Because now, you're no longer confident. You're uncertain. And uncertainty creates urgency. You start moving faster again. Trying different things. Making quick decisions. Not from clarity, but from pressure. And pressure leads to mistakes. Now imagine this clearly. You're on your bed. Late at night. Lights off. Room quiet. Phone in your hand. You open your bank app again. You stare at it. Not with excitement, but with tension. You refresh it. Nothing changes. You refresh again. Still the same number. Now you're not just checking anymore. You're searching. Your fingers move faster. Scrolling through transactions. One by one. Trying to find something. Anything. Where did it go? Your chest tightens slightly. You sit up properly now. This isn't casual anymore. You start calculating in your head. How much came in? How much went out? What's left? It doesn't add up the way you expected. There's no clear mistake. But something is wrong. And that's when it hits you. This is not as stable as I thought. Silence. That confidence you had before, it drops. Not completely, but enough to shake you. You start calculating. How much is left? How long can this last? What did I do wrong? And for the first time, you don't have answers. That's the real problem. Not losing money. Losing clarity. Because when you don't understand your own results, you lose control. And when you lose control, everything feels unstable. And this is the second major mistake. Not building a system. Because without a system, everything depends on luck. And luck is not repeatable. Now let's contrast this properly. There's another person. Same age. Same opportunity. Same early result. But different reaction. When they make money early, they don't celebrate immediately. They pause. They sit down. And they ask themselves, why did this work? What exactly caused this result? Can I break this down? They analyze everything. Even when things are going well. They track. They document. They slow down. Even when they could speed up. And this is where everything changes. Because now, they're not just earning. They're understanding. They're building a system. Something they can repeat. Something they can control. Something they can scale. And over time, that creates a completely different outcome. While one person is guessing, the other is building. While one person is reacting, the other is designing. And that difference is everything. Because money made early without understanding disappears. But money made with understanding multiplies. And this is the truth nobody tells you. Making money early feels like winning, like you got there before everyone else. But hey, race, what people don't realize. Making money early is not success. It's a test of how you think, how you react, and what you do next. Because at some point, the excitement fades, the easy wins stop coming, and you're left with something uncomfortable. Silence. No new results. No growth. Just silence. And this is where everything separates. Let's make this real. You're sitting alone again. It's late. Your room is quiet. Your phone is in your hand. You open your bank app. The number is still there, but it's not growing like before. And that's what bothers you. Because before, it felt easy. Now, it feels uncertain. You scroll through your transactions slowly. Money came in. Money went out. But there's no structure. No direction. Just movement. And then the thought hits you. If this slows down completely, what happens to me? You pause. You don't have a clear answer. And that's the moment that matters. Because right here, you can either grow or you can stay stuck. Now this is where most people go wrong. They don't sit with that discomfort. They escape it. They close the app. They distract themselves. Anything to avoid that feeling. And then they tell themselves, they'll figure it out later. But hey, race, what people don't realize. Later never comes. Because the pattern repeats. You make a little more money. You feel better again. That pressure disappears. Temporarily. And you go back to the same behavior. No structure. No system. No understanding. But this time, you don't run from that uncomfortable moment. You sit in it. You stay there a little longer. You look at your numbers again. You don't just scroll. You study. You ask yourself, where is my money actually coming from? Why did it work before? What part of this can I control? And for the first time, you admit something. I don't fully understand this yet. That sentence is uncomfortable, but it's powerful. Because now, you're no longer pretending. Now you're ready to learn. You slow down. You stop chasing quick wins. You focus. You go back to what worked. But this time, you break it down. Test what works. Remove what doesn't. At first, it feels slower, less exciting, less rewarding. You don't see immediate results. And this is where most people quit again. Because it doesn't feel like progress. But hey, race, what people don't realize. This is real progress. You're building something deeper. Understanding. And understanding leads to control. Now imagine this over time. Your income becomes more consistent. Not explosive, but steady. You're no longer guessing. You know what works. You know what doesn't. You know how to adjust. And that changes everything. Because now, you're not dependent on luck. You're operating on knowledge. And this is the truth nobody tells you. Making money early is easy. Keeping it, growing it, multiplying it. That's where the real game begins. So if you're making money right now, don't get distracted by the result. Look deeper. Ask better questions. Because the money you make today means nothing if you can't repeat it tomorrow. And that's the part most people ignore until it's too late. So the next time you see money come in, pause. Don't assume you've figured it out. Pause and ask yourself, if this stopped today, could I rebuild it? Because that answer is the difference between making money and building wealth. And if you don't know the answer yet, that's exactly where you need to start.